All right, everybody, we're back. I don't know what episode it is, but it's another episode of Money, Marriage, Magic. I'm Zach.
I'm Jess. Welcome.
What?
Huh?
What?
Where'd you come from?
What? There's the sun is out, it's shining.
Zach has been gone for 4 whole days.
But I'm back, refreshed, ready.
Are you
Not
refreshed,
really refreshed, though? But Vegas will do some other things to you. It wasn't a regular Vegas trip.
I single parented for 4 days, and to all you single parents out there, a big, humongous cheers to you. I admire you. That shit is real and for real. Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. Legit. We love you and we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, but we're back with another episode. We want to get back to it. And let's just get into it. Like, what do you want to talk about? I think we should talk about, what does marriage mean to you?
Woo!
Our podcast is called Money, Marriage, Magic. So, let's take one of those words and let's dive deep into it of what, we think, of course. It's not everything we say is what you should and shouldn't do.
So why don't you give me what the true definition is?
The definition, because I have a different definition, which you'll hear later and throughout the podcast, but I have to read it. The legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. That's like the
the technical. Yeah. That's like you sign a marriage paper and that is what you are.
You have the one, there's different ones, under the Bible, there's different ones under here, there's different cultures.
Sure, but it can get real
I think for the normal, all of our people that we know, it's, for me, I always just call it a legal document. That's what it is.
He does say some things and never take anything he says too seriously, because once you get to know Zach, you understand that his heart's always in the right place. Yeah. And though he says these things, he can back them up. He can back them up. I do agree with that.
So what does marriage mean to you?
To me?
Yes. In a couple words or sentences, what do you want to give?
It's too much to
We'll unpack it.
Section it down like that. But I think for me, it means like growing, working together, striving for better, and learning how to be a combination of two people instead of just being your own individual self, like making sacrifices, but yet like communicating it. And that is like probably the most complicated question you've ever asked me.
Has your marriage evolved over time, or has your view of marriage changed over time? So let's say pre-marriage, girlfriend, or boyfriend, what you had, girlfriend, what I had, has it changed what you thought it would be, should be, and could be?
100,000,000%.
So
you can't predict what you go through as the years you're married, you go through. You know what I mean? Because it's called life and you can't plan that, right? So like when you get married, it's like fun and like light and fluffy and like it's new, and maybe not for everybody because everybody gets married at different times in their life. Let me just start off by saying, Zach, I got cat hair everywhere. We met, we long distance dated. For anybody, I'm sure we've told the story in season 1, but we met, we long distance dated. I'm from Canada. He was living here in California for like April, May, June, July, August, September, October, like 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then I sold everything I owned and I moved here. There's like a lot more to that story, but we'll tell
a whole full story.
We got married quickly, and then we got married again on our 1-year anniversary to like have all our friends and family there. Anyways, so our marriage was particularly quick. So it was like new and fun and young, and we were still in the dating process.
But I guess a question to ask too is, again, going back to the piece of paper, if you're with someone for 4 years, is there a difference? Is it more meaningful or more something if you're with someone for 6 months and you get married on a piece of paper? Why is that considered so much more a microscope of making, you did it too soon? I'm like, but I've been with someone, and let's say someone thinks they don't like that person for 4 years that someone's with, but they're just like, whatever. It's all good unless they get married. I'm like,
no, because
I think it's still detrimental to that person.
So I think a lot of that has to do with the times, the way people were raised, sometimes religion-based, sometimes what your parents did or what was right to do, what is tradition.
So influence.
Yeah, I would have to say, like, our parents didn't care. Our parents, I wouldn't say they didn't care, but they were supportive.
Our parents cared, but they were influenced by their parents, and the parents were influenced by their parents. So things trickle down, of course.
And you also have to realize, like, our parents are both divorced, so they were just happy to see us happy. And like, I mean, they thought I was crazy that I was going to sell everything I owned and move to the United States where I technically couldn't work or do anything. Particularly, I'm legal now. Don't worry. It's all good. But I mean, they were very supportive. Like, I never heard anybody say to us, like, you can't do that. How dare you do that?
To our
what
face.
are you doing?
To our face.
Well, my mom's going to be here.
We know how the world works, man. Everybody says stuff and then
it's
behind
okay.
closed doors,
You know what,
they're
though?
like, they're crazy.
I'm okay with that because
Well, I
like,
don't care. It doesn't
matter.
If you let
It doesn't
things
matter to
affect
me.
you in that way
It
on the
doesn't matter to
outside,
me.
I don't think you're on the path to becoming, your best
Sure.
self.
Sure.
I would say.
I
But
agree.
yeah, definitely from generations above us influence us heavily. But, if you're grown up to age 21 or 18, or let's say 21, you're off on your own,
You
22.
have a piece of skin on your nose that's driving me
Get it.
crazy. Can I please just take
Get
it
it.
off? Thank you. Sorry.
And we're back.
Sorry, I couldn't. I'm so sorry.
We do manicures, pedicures.
It's driving me nuts. I'm
If
sorry.
you got a white head, she's got you.
No, it was just skin.
No, I don't care. No.
Okay, so what does marriage mean to you? If I had to answer, you got to answer too, baby.
Multiple things, but it's not part of the things like the definitions of like
That's just the technical. Like that's just
I
because
know,
they
two
needed some
people's-
shit in the encyclopedia.
two
to put
peoples in
there.
union.
It is. You
Something
are.
I read today was I think one thing just to say is being a lot more selfless, if that's the word, of letting go of a lot of things. And
It teaches you a lot about yourself.
I mean, it's like you've been growing a plant for the same for, however many years you're not married. And then when you get married, you hybrid off and you learn how to grow together, but you still survive and you could create something amazing, or you could die off and, could not work too. So it just depends. But, there's so many elements because it's like what marriage means to you. And then there's like, what can you do or
It's complicated.
it's very complicated.
You can't just to break that down solely is like insane to me. Like
Yeah,
I'm
but-
like when you ask me, I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know. Like I need to sit down and like write it out and like focus because I'm like it means so many things, and at different times in your marriage, it means different things.
But you agree, like
know?
pre-marriage, I would have a different outlook of what I think marriage means now to
Absolutely.
before, because before you get married, all you think about is your exes. And if you're getting married to the new person, everything is just, amazing because you're in the honeymoon stage for however many years. But you could be tainted from
Wait,
parents
I
or
have
whatever.
a question.
Yeah,
You don't have those things on us.
this one.
Okay.
Yeah. What are those things?
The podcast world. The podcast world.
She has
You
an
just wanna-
electric shock, so in case she ever just push a button just like this.
if I get too crazy,
She has one on me, though. She has one on me, so don't judge.
I put it on his private part.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But I was like, ow!
Imagine. Okay, what's the next question?
Let's see. Do you think marriage is necessary for couples to be happy?
Okay, so hold on. You mean like the technical piece of paper? Like the
Yeah,
union?
I would say anytime you use the word marriage of, do you think
okay,
marriage
so
is
what
going
the
to
definition
be
is.
sign a piece of paper,
Okay.
get married under God, whatever, wherever you live, whatever that is in that
Mm-hmm.
definition, do you think it's a necessity for the couple to be happy?
I think it depends on who you are, the kind of person you are, because I think
But
no, I
you
don't
can
think,
judge everybody in this.
I
'cause
think
this
like
could be
we
your
have
view.
some friends who are not married, but they're as good as married. Your sister,
Yeah.
for instance,
I-
they've been together forever.
I'm 100% leaning on you
like-
do not have to be married.
No, I
to
don't
be
think
happy.
so. But I think
100 plus if I can
there
go
is
more.
something that has been, I don't want to say pushed, but something that's been in this world that we live
So
in.
now we're going back
where
to our
you
parents.
not even
parents'
that, but like
parents.
you have a wedding and like little girls have dreamed of having a wedding dress, and they've like had these like what they wanted. I never had that. I don't know why, but I never had that. Like I was like, yeah, I'd love to get married. If I get married, I meet the right guy. But it was never like my longing. And I have friends
Where do you
who
think
have
that spawns from?
movies.
Movies, for sure, are a big influence.
Movies. I think movies are for sure a huge influence.
It wouldn't be your parents because technically
I wasn't
you're probably
there.
not
You weren't there.
know?
Unless they have stories and they teach you those stories, because a story is
That's
as
a
good as a
question.
movie.
Where does the
stories?
It's got to be because
movies,
it's the fair. I
books.
want the fairy tale wedding. So yeah.
Like, and I mean, I think it just depends on the kind of person you are. But do I think it's necessary? No. But I think going
Where do
back
you-
to that, it depends on the kind of person you are is going to determine whether that is the truth or not.
But do you think the kind of person that is like, I have to be married to be happy? What would you say? I don't think there's any of our friends, But if you met someone, we're just shooting the shit and just whatever, and they're like, oh no, I definitely have to be married, or I just won't be happy.
You know what I would say. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. I
would love to hear that person explain to me why.
Because I don't believe in that. Yeah. Like I believe. Listen, I question. This is going to be really crazy. I question. Okay, so this is going to sound really weird to you guys, but Zach and I got married quickly because situation. Okay, like I moved here to the States. I needed a green card. We knew there was no question that we were going to be together. That was not a question. Together forever. That wasn't a question either.
But I
question if I didn't have to legally,
if we would have
if we would have ever done it. I think we still would have. I think we still would have had it. We wanted a party. We wanted to like celebrate. Here's the thing. For me, the wedding is celebration. Mm-hmm. That moment when I walked down the aisle and my dad was right there and everybody was looking at me. Oh, every episode I fucking cry. Oh my God, I'm a mess. That moment is such a moment that you can't create that unless you do that kind of production. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, we got married at the courthouse. I cried too, and it was amazing, and it was so intimate because of me, you, and your brother.
Less stressful too,
Yeah, but like that feeling is something that you can't make that up.
No.
But maybe that's not the same for a man. Maybe that's just for me. You know what I mean? And I think that we would have gotten married probably regardless to have a party. But do I think that?
But you said we would have gotten married to have a party. We don't need to get married to have a party either.
You mean the paperwork?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I'm happy to be married to in any way that I can be.
This is going to go on there's another episode of like money and marriage, which will always look money, marriage, magic. I'm a believer that, if your situation is depending on where you live, that, financially it would benefit you to not get married. I kind of support that.
So it's kind of a mental game too, though, right? Like, because if you tell people you're married, but then you feel like you're guilty because you're lying because you're not actually married, some people have problems with that. Mm-hmm. Like they do. Like it could be religion based, or it could be with their parents think, or with somebody else. I know. It's crazy.
I mean, unless it's like a detrimental kind of decision of like, if you don't do A, B is going to happen. But this is like two people, if you're out there listening or watching that are just like, these are my views, and you're getting backlash from family and friends, and it's going to be normally the people that are older than you because this is the way of the world in their eyes. I don't think that's fair as someone who loves you and cares about you to like ream their beliefs and thoughts into you and not somewhat support, but just learn how to communicate and just, maybe try to find out more from you. But don't feel bad if you feel that way. Whatever you think and believe is kind of the right way because it's your way.
I agree. I think that you have to do what's right for you. You know what I mean? And it's hard to not let the world's opinion, family, friends, people you admire, people you respect, it's hard not to let those sink in. But I think that the day that you realize that it actually kind of doesn't really matter is the day you grow just a little bit more.
Well, how often have you thought that, man, I'm so happy we got, do you think that? Like, I mean, of course I say like, I'm so happy we got married, but like, again, going back to
I'm happy to be in a relationship, a lifelong relationship with you. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm happy that my sad times are with you, my good times are with you, my bad times, what is up?
Wait, let me
check
the period calendar. Hold on.
We should never film.
I mean, we're coming up. We got like 13 days. Come on.
Okay, figure it out. Pull it together, Jess. Pull it together. But like, I'm just happy for our partnership.
Yeah. Yes. Get it while getting is good.
She's like, change the subject. She's gonna cry again. Good God. Okay, where are we at? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
What was this? Where were we? Second?
I'm just jumping.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you. Okay.
The floor is yours.
Ready? This is a good one.
I'm not ready yet.
Too bad. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Do I believe in love at first sight?
I don't even know if you know how to answer this. I don't even think I've ever talked to you about this.
I think someone can say yes, but if their actions didn't follow through and the aftermath was not that, then it's tough. But I would say yes. But I like this question because everybody, in a way, as you've gotten older, has believed in love at first sight because they've been with that person for a year, for 4 years, for 5 years, and then it doesn't work. So it's the same thing as almost, that you got married in that way. But I do. And it depends, actually.
That surprises me.
Depends on your experience.
You know what I think it is? I don't think it's love at first sight. I think it's a feeling at first sight. I don't think that you can like know you love somebody necessarily, but it's a feeling that you're like, whoa.
I agree with that.
You're like, whoa, there is something here. And I know that because that's how I felt when I met you. But
feeling at first sight doesn't sound like fairy tale of love at first sight.
Like, how can you really say you love somebody at first sight? Like,
that's true.
Yeah, my feelings, like the blood was rushing everywhere.
Like fireworks at first sight.
I didn't want to leave that person's side. Their smell was fantastic. Their movement with my body was perfect, but it's more of like a feeling at first sight.
There's no such thing as love at first sight.
Like, because love takes work.
There's no such thing.
No, I don't know.
I'm just saying that.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm trying to backtrack it so I don't get.
I'm not mad at you for saying that. I'm not mad at you for saying that.
You could rephrase that.
I think feeling at first sight, fireworks, feelings of fireworks.
Because the only way you can have it is, if you go through with everything.
But I mean, like, I had it with you, so like. But I couldn't, like, I walked away and I was like, I love that guy. Like,
but then you tell any stranger, like, we met at a Puerto Vallarta all-inclusive resort, and, they'd be like, yeah, right. Like.
But we did.
Yeah.
I think sometimes if it clicks and works, and sometimes you could be wrong. You think it does, and then it doesn't.
That's your normal dating life.
Yeah. I mean, but then I think you just, like, you start going through the motions, right? Of getting to know each other, feeling it out, learning about each other, seeing your likes and dislikes, deciding whether like, okay, there's potential here. Like we're going to put in time. I don't know. It's complex.
So they need to, we're petitioning to change the phrase love at first sight. Because
we want fireworks.
I mean, if people think that exists,
feeling fireworks. Yeah, but you always feel fireworks.
I would like to meet all of the troll characters in person at some point in my life. Okay, make that happen, and then I'll believe it. But
gosh,
it's what you do with it after. But fireworks at first sight or feelings at first sight. I like that better. That's legitimately
because like fireworks
realistic.
can happen, right? Like especially if you're like excited. This is new, somebody new. You get excited quickly, which is like some people,
So what concept? Well, I want to know what's the definition of love at first sight?
Good luck. You look that up.
You meet someone and then go to a place in Vegas while you're there and get married, and we got married, we fell in love, and. I don't know. I
think love is more than 24 hours. Love is work. There's a bigger concept to that word.
If love is work, and love is such a more powerful word, then more so our petition just got granted at the city hall right now. Because that's a dangerous thing to float around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. This is a whole nother topic for a whole.
I want to get everybody's answers. We're gonna post this on social. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram and all that stuff,
I want to know when you actually see this
really
episode
think about
air,
it before you comment or anywhere you comment.
Like because
really think about
we love vibing off other people. Like I love hearing this is a good topic conversation. We're going to be camping over spring break, and this will probably be released after spring break. But this would be a really good question to like ask around the campfire. You know what I mean? And see what everybody says. This is a deep one, though. I mean, it's because we all come from different walks of life. All of our friends, your brother's going to be there. Like, I think I like this. I think we should.
I need a good 25 minutes.
We should play like a drinking game with
25 minutes with people to talk about this, not just like a question and say yay or nay. I want to know.
No, I want to round robin where everybody gives something. All right, you're next.
What do you think is the biggest challenge couples face when it comes to staying married? And there's multiple, I would say. What's one of them?
One of them is infidelity.
Okay.
Money. Illness. Death.
Yeah, but illness and death aren't choices in a way.
Yeah, but that still affects a marriage massively because you don't get to decide on that. Whether it's in the family, or close. Topic. Yeah, that's it's crazy. Like I mean, remember that one. I mean, I what do you think?
I mean, yeah. So the
lies, deceit, that all goes into like kind of infidelity, but you don't actually have to have infidelity, and you could just have lies and deceit, and that's enough to like be damaging.
Yep. Yeah, that's a whole. I don't want to talk about it. That's a whole other topic.
I'm like shaking. I'm like, oh God, this is dark. We're just gonna leave it at that. Next question.
All right. What do you think are the benefits of being married?
So after being gone for like 4 days like that, it's definitely companionship. Like I love your companionship. I love knowing that you're coming to bed with me at night. I have somebody to wake up to. I have somebody to tell all my problems, whether they're good or bad. I have somebody to discuss everything and anything in life. I have somebody who's going to support me through all the things, who's going to help me parent, because we have a child. We have an 8-year-old. We have an 8-year-old.
But do you think we, going backwards now, do you think we had that kind of right when we met and we kept building on it?
Oh, absolutely.
So do you think someone should not get married unless you've gotten to that point?
Honestly,
Yeah.
yeah.
You think you should still get married or wait?
No, I think you should
I
probably
think you should wait. I think that's when your love at first sight becomes
Here's
full
the thing,
circle.
but people are probably like, bullshit, you two. You only knew each other for 6 months. Like, how the hell can you say that? Here's the thing, and here's what I'll say for us. We did long distance for 6 months, you guys, and this was before there was iPhones. We weren't FaceTiming each other. We were Skyping each other when we could, and even then, it was few and far between.
You've ever naked Skyped?
Cheers
to you. Cheers to you out there.
I definitely think like we put in so much work. Like we worked, we talked, we asked questions. It wasn't like we could, like, I always refer to this, like we couldn't be like, hey, what are you doing? You want to go on a date? I'll take you to the movies, and sit there in silence for 2 hours.
You never watch a movie together.
No, no, we couldn't do that. I'm not a movie watcher.
Yeah.
So like we talked, we asked questions, we got to know each other. We spent so much time.
Or actually, a question
that.
is too, in between those times, I went to go visit her, she visited me,
Sure.
This and
so
that.
we could see how each other's lived, because we had to do
maybe
that.
Another, a checklist, maybe.
I mean,
again,
we're not the
we're not the deciders. No. We're just
You know what I mean?
goofing off. Like anybody that listens to us can take. It's not even advice. Just like, look, there's never a bad idea if you don't mean it in a bad way. If I do to anybody, then I'll re-explain myself of like, look, I'm a very caring person. I want everybody to be happy. But like maybe there's somewhat of a checklist because people like to follow things. I mean, who doesn't in a way? But like you have to spend. You have to live together. I don't know. You have to go live together for a year before you get married. I mean, I'd rather have those like in laws.
I mean, you know that people don't. There's still people that please don't like get me on this one. There's still people who don't have sex before marriage.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other topic.
It does happen.
Religious. I mean, we were hanging out with this last week. I went on a guys trip. I mean, one of the guys used to be Mormon. And, I talked to him because I love to hear about everything. I just, if I don't know it,
Zach
I don't know
just
it.
wants to be educated, you guys. And I love that about him.
But I'd rather have education from the first hand, not from
hearsay.
Yeah, always, and yeah, and that's one of them. But I mean, that's a whole other topic because the shit I heard, I'm like, oh my God, you can't have sex before marriage, but you can do this. And I got to give it to any Mormons listening right now. Your names that you come up with for what you can do that is not sex but is sexual could win awards. Okay, if you know, you know. If not, just go search.
I do not even know what you're talking about, but
Mormon sexual terms.
So I didn't get this part of the story of your trip.
It is.
You're like blushing over this.
The greatest. I mean, I'm talking. I was crying. We were all having a great time. Just like I'm not making fun of anything, but just like I didn't know. I'm like, this is hilarious. And then it just kept coming more and more. And he's not one anymore.
Okay.
So it's,
he left.
Yeah. But
it'd be fun to have on the podcast.
But going back, backtracking.
We should have sorry, just real quick thought. We should have a Money Marriage Magic with just all the girls and just all the guys. It doesn't have to be just the couples where you talk from the wife's point of view or the girl's point of view and the guy's point of view, because we want to give you guys, listen, we want this to be fun. We want it to be light. We want it to be deep. We want it to be all the levels of everything. Like, we want you to keep coming back and be like, what are they going to talk about this week? What are they going to say this week? What kind of craziness is going to come out of their mouths? You know what I mean? I think that's just what we thrive off of and where we really kind of shine.
Going back to the sex before marriage, I mean, I'm a believer that I think you should have to.
I think so too.
To get to know someone, like.
Because okay, but hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just play.
Yep. Devil's advocate. What?
So, but what if you wait, right? Because marriages work, right? Yeah. So if you have sex and it doesn't work and you're like, oh my God, this is so fucking horrible and awkward. First of all, the first time you have sex, it's awkward. It's horrible. It doesn't feel good.
What happened? I
was
that
you
bad?
have a penis and I have a vagina. No, it wasn't you. Sorry, baby. I hate to break it to you. It wasn't you. Like, it's awkward. Nobody knows how to do it. Do you know what I mean? Nobody knows how to do it, right? So like, it takes work. So marriage takes work. So is it a learning lesson for you if you wait to do it? Oh God, this is crazy to think about. Like, if
I
you
think
wait,
there's pros
there's
and
a lot.
cons.
I think it depends on your age.
When I said 100%, I think there's pros and cons because I'm a big believer, and I tell her all the time that Mind Sex, if any hip hop heads are out there, Dead Prez is a great hip hop group when we grew up, and they have a song called Mind Sex, and it's my favorite song, one of them, no joke, because it talks about mentally connecting with someone on a mental level, but it could be sexual in a way, but that's kind of what it is. If you can't have sex before marriage, then at least have mind sex.
You get to know each other mentally better, maybe because like you can't have that physical, that feel good feeling.
When I say mind sex, I'm not saying talk dirty or this and that.
Still like if you're not having sex, can you still touch? This is a whole other topic.
Yes, there's a whole.
This is a whole. Okay, this is a whole. We're not even gonna go
after this. What you can.
We're not going into that because let's say that because that's a good one.
Mind sex for me is not
so
sexual.
So we're gonna have to find
nature.
somebody who hasn't had sex before marriage. I don't know if we have any friends like that. If you want to be on the podcast and you didn't have sex before marriage, please contact us.
We'll start doing that world.
Literally, wow.
But mind sex for me is on the communication level, the connection level, if you've watched Avatar, they didn't have sex till the very end because they couldn't, and they figured it out. But you know how they connected on that level of just throughout the whole movie, and like, holy moly, I hated you at one point, but now you are my one.
Have you ever? Sorry, this is like a little off topic, but have you ever like disliked somebody and then end up liking them and being in a relationship? I mean, obviously that's not marriage material, but
not relationship wise, but friends.
I did once.
Friends, but that's the same thing.
Yeah.
You can't judge anybody off of their one night out with everybody out, friends or looking. You can't. You have. That's why I'm a big believer in whenever you go on vacations, if you can stay in the same house with the same structure overnight, that's a big part of when you get to know someone because you go to bed with them as people, families, and you wake up with them and you just have different conversations. It's those different conversations, I think, that opens the doors to get to know the other person. And going out, every night at the bars, it's very tough, I think, to really get down deep to get to know someone. So, I mean, we have single friends. I mean,
I guess okay, let me ask you this. I keep cutting you off because my brain, I'm squirrely. I have major ADHD. I cannot focus very well lately. I got to figure that out. But
she did it again while she was doing it. She squirreled herself. She's like,
I did.
I don't know.
There's like a wind chime,
and then I got to figure out myself off topic.
Literally, I just lost it because I saw that wind chime.
Wind chime.
Okay, so my next question, and we'll wrap it up with this, is how do you think couples should handle differences of opinion in their marriage? Because I mean, your opinion on something is will definitely come head to head in things where I don't agree. Like, your opinion on something is going to be completely different. And I think that's totally okay. And I don't think that we deal with this a lot, particularly you and I, because I think we see eye to eye a lot. But I mean, when we do hit that speed bump, what do?
Well, differences of opinion, I mean, is that, there's so many categories too. There's like raising your children. There's,
I think that's probably one of the hardest ones.
We should not rent a car or rent a car on a vacation.
We should turn the heat up because it's fucking freezing.
True. That's a good
or
one.
we're
That's
trying
us.
to save money.
That's us. No, it's not more, maybe money, sleeping wise.
What is it then?
Sleeping wise.
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
I sleep cold.
Okay. This is a difference of opinion. This is a difference of opinion in this house. It is a big, huge one. And here's what, I got to tell you, he's been away for 4 days. He can control the heat from wherever he is. Did you or did you not control the heat from Las Vegas?
Not once. I swear on a marriage.
I know,
Never.
thank God. Because it's like, oh my God, I can see Zach sitting there checking it, being like, what? She hasn't set to 72? I know she's not even in the house. 63.
But then again, sometimes, you have it set to 72 and we go out all night. I'm like, oh my God, you didn't turn it down. It's like, it's freezing.
Our biggest difference of opinion is heat temperatures in our house. How do we deal with it? We kind of poke fun at it.
Yeah. But these are...
I get pissed. I get legit pissed sometimes. Yeah. And then when I get legit pissed,
it's gotten, if you want to say better, because, over time,
we understand.
If someone's going to not hold their ground, but if this is their view, you've experienced it, and nothing's going to change out of that view, this is how this person's going to act, then I have two choices. I can headbutt with it, or I can maybe make a compromise, or just let her have her way, and maybe I might get mad over time. And I think over time, we've come to a compromise in certain ways of like, hey,
he goes outside, I turn it up. He comes inside, he turns it down. I come inside, I turn it up. But the one thing that we have compromised really, really well on is at night. Like I've learned that I just wear more clothes and have way more blankets. And the minute I get up out of bed, I'm like, screw you all. Because if I am cold and I am bitchy and I'm the first person who wakes everybody up, makes the coffee, does the lunches and all the things, I get to turn it up.
And I agree with that.
I get to turn it up. I'm sorry. I get to turn it up. I'm the one who's out of bed, roaming and doing the things. I get to turn it up.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yes, we do live in Southern California, and yes, it's very cold.
But this comes back to just the communication of figuring those differences out. You know, like if I feel like if two people are having a difference and two people are going back and forth, and a lot of times it's I'm right, you're wrong in the broad scheme of things. If one of those, each of those people have not actually done that thing they're kind of arguing about, whether it being raising your kids or I don't know, planting the wrong grass seed in California.
What school do they go to?
Exactly.
When do they get a device, a cellular phone?
Yeah, let's say device, which we'll do another episode just on devices. But I think that's a good situation to use. Because those are difference of opinions. If we haven't raised a child with a device yet, then no one has the I know more than you. This is where the true building of, I think, what marriage means
gets built.
Comes about. Because this is where you come together.
This is where your steps
You're not
come.
separate.
Yeah.
When you sign that piece of paper, you're together in all avenues. So this is a good challenge. Not even, it shouldn't be a challenge. It should be something like, you know what? I want to work on this. Let's figure this out together.
Challenge doesn't have to be a bad thing, though. Like, a challenge is good. Like, I think you do need to be challenged in your marriage to keep it moving forward instead of keeping it stagnant or dying.
Yes, I agree.
I think a challenge is, I think it's a good word.
I agree, but
don't think of a challenge as like, I fight you with my sword.
Mm-hmm. I mean, marriage, a lot of people, I mean, it's...
Sometimes it is like that.
Like, there's percentages out there with everything, right? Like, like what's the percentage of every marriage disagreement that one person always thinks they're right? You know, like, or the end outcome is, you know, even if they compromise and they're like, they don't know. Oof. And then that hurts. So you're worse off doing that. Like, I mean,
did you just gorilla slap?
Nothing to do with any of this. That's what I did. But it's how to come to that understanding, to communicate on that level. Yeah. To, again, disagreements are good. It brings things up to talk about, but how do you talk about those things? You have to grow from them. They're not good. And if you don't grow from them, they're not good. There's never you have to grow. Someone who's 100% right. And even if that person's 100% right. Bullshit. I'm always right. When you're married, you're now not one person that's right. You're now two people that are creating something together that I think you should both want to be somewhat right, or just be like, you know what? Never thought about that. Or to vibe off each other. Do you know what I mean? You need to vibe off each other too. Yeah. Let's test it out. You're like, the disagreement, you know, if someone says we should do this, like, you know, let's just, let's try this out. I'm open to try this out. And I really mean that. And even if it doesn't work out, you got to reiterate that really well. We definitely are going to have to remove that wind chime. Yeah. It's going to. Where is it? You can't see it because the wall is there. I can see the. Sorry, it's real life over here, y'all. I'm getting a t-shirt. It's real life. It's just wind chime. And the arrow pointing to me. So, like, when you're worried about me squirreling too much, wind chime. I also have a photo. I'm just 10-second break, wind chime. Just thinking about fairies. No. But it's very important. It's very important just to communicate through disagreements. I mean, all these things can be talked about for hours on end. And these are just some of the things we always want to talk about with you guys on the podcast. And on this podcast, if you're listening, you can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify. We're on Instagram. We're on all the platforms. Where else can they watch us? Only on YouTube? Spotify you can too. Yep. So if you want to see this handsome face and my shining, glistening face, you can always follow us there. Yes. Where else? Facebook? Everywhere you can Insta. You can do it. If you find somewhere that we should be that we're not, tell us. We'll get there. Because the world is a big old internet platform. Next time you guys go to Vegas, if you're driving on the backseat of that car, the taxi, you might see us just like a little blurb. Could you imagine if one day we had like a billboard? What would you put on that billboard? I mean, we have a property, so couldn't we put up our own billboard? But who's going to see it? It's a joke. Weird. Okay. But you guys, we're real life over here. We love to get to know you. We want you to have a good time with us. We want you to enjoy what we're doing. Hopefully, we want you to communicate with us. If you ever have like a great idea, let us know. We're totally open to suggestions around here and communication, because that's kind of our key word is communication around here.
And yeah.
Yeah, so fire away. Any questions you guys ever have, emails, hit us up on the DMs, and just we appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Love you.
Shaka Khan.